You actually don't know what you're missing from classic zombies. You just don't. There are so many changes that have been made from World at War all the way to BO6, both good and bad things. From removing perks, rip my boy Double Tap, gone but not forgotten, to adding side quests, which are not Easter eggs, so let's stop calling them that, to some things even I was shocked to find out being changed to fit the modern landscape of gaming. Some of it is good, some of it not so good. What is being changed here? Why are they being changed? Why these changes should or shouldn't happen, and why we should be maybe just a little more accepting of these changes, at least for the sake of the newer players in the community as a whole. Because I'm sure you can agree we need some unity right now in this community. This is your boy Clam Rally, and welcome to the channel. As some of you know, like a lot of you guys, I'm a bit of a zombie head, am I right? Am I right? I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to my likes of this franchise as a whole. I tend to prefer more of like a classic zombies feel, and I'm talking like BO1 as being like my favorite overall experience in zombies. And I'm talking overall. So us in this community have been around a long time. I can clearly tell based on the reaction to BO6 zombies and a lot of Cold War zombies. All those are valid criticisms. The goal of this video though isn't to separate the community more and add to the new versus old zombie player wall that has kind of been built over the past half decade. The goal here is to usher in these Warzone players, these multiplayer players who have never played zombies before. It's our duty to teach them what they should want from zombies. Because Activision surely ain't doing us any favors in that regard. So it's on us. Because, like it or not, we're the old ones now. Bro, I'm gonna be pushing 30 by the end of this year. I'm gonna be 27 by the end of the year. So we have to make sure we're being mature. And I know you guys are just as old as I am, at least a handful of you. So we have to make sure we're being mature and not make these newer players feel like they don't have a place to interact. And given the state of the zombies community over the past month, I think it's time to bring everyone together again and show the newer players what they've been missing. And honestly show them what a good zombies mode is, and show them maturely what we think should and shouldn't be in zombies nowadays. And if you've been around the community a while and you're like a veteran zombies player, then I'm almost certain that you'll at least agree with some of these sentiments in this video. So remember to keep things civil. In the comments, I would like some discussion, and afterwards I'll make a follow-up video reacting to your comments. I'll mainly be covering the big or major changes made and maybe throw in a few small things here when they're relevant. So if you think of something that I don't think of that you think is a big change, let me know in the comments so I can react to them in my next video. To start things off with the most basic information about zombies you can find, classic zombies is a round-based mode, or horde mode as it's sometimes referred to. Killing zombies enough to bring you to another round, pretty much like indefinitely, right? Originally in World at War as its own mode. But why the term round-based? Almost as if to imply that there's another mode. To some of you, zombies started out in Cold War, which was mainly a round-based horde mode where you pretty much survived until you died, climbing the rounds, and that was pretty much it. You could exfil, of course, after a certain number of rounds, but the main game was just survival. But also in Cold War, there was Outbreak, which was, I would say, the predecessor to MWZ, with there being a large map and loot to go after and like exfilling. But there were still kind of rounds going on, but it was definitely a different dynamic than the classic. The zombies mode right after that, well, that mattered. We got MWZ, which is, I guess you could call like extraction based, where you drop into a giant map, collect the loot, and do tasks to get points and stuff, to get more loot and extract your loot out of the map to use in a future game. Extraction-based zombies itself is a newer feature, but for these newer people, 1/3 of their whole zombies experience has been round-based, and the other has been extraction-based, and the other has been Vanguard. So, for you newer players out there, yeah, zombies didn't have these other two game modes back in the day. It was simpler than this. The term round-based was just to differentiate the two modes that exist. Speaking of simplicity, zombies used to be a lot simpler. And to be honest, I think that made things mostly better. Let me explain. The thing that made zombies so good back in the day is that it didn't tell you as much information as much as it does today. There was no main or focused objective. There was no quests. There was no 3-tier pack-a-punch, no armor, no mini-map, no nothing. You and a gun, pretty much. There was a 4 perk limit. There were kind of simple wonder weapons, drops, pack-a-punch, and traps. Shit, there was even fucking rebuildable barriers. I don't even know if they have that in BO6 zombies. Definitely not in Modern Warfare zombies, that's for sure. Bro, I didn't even pick up on there not being barriers anymore until I started thinking about it. All this stuff in the game was just kind of set out for us as, let's just be real, kids, just to find out on our own. And the intriguing part about this was that when we found out about this stuff, we spread that info to our friends at school. And back in the early days of YouTube, people would post secrets about the map. And the thing that makes it interesting is because it felt like a secret that was being kept from us. In the newer zombies games, the game makes it so apparent as to what you need to do in order to do a quest or to find an Easter egg. I'm sure you've heard this so many times about the newer games by now, but man,
and why is
this here? Like, yeah, I know it's a zombie. I hope that it is. That's the game mode that I clicked on. Do you think I'm fucking stupid? You newer players aren't dumb. You guys are smart. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you can look at that and tell that that's not a person. So give yourselves a little more credit in that regard. Another thing that has changed is the HUD. Just look at this. This is a mess. This is a brain rotted mess with way too much information on the screen at all times. Again, you newer players can tell that you killed something because you shoot it and it hits the ground. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure that out. You don't need a pop-up for every single time you get a kill because there's like a zillion zombies on the map. And that's one of the biggest differences I can say that has happened to zombies versus back in the day. Attention spans are harder to keep because of how TikTok and social media is. And it was a lot different back in the day because we didn't really have this short form content we could just look at for 5 minutes and be done, or maybe even like a minute, 30 seconds and be done. We had YouTube, of course, but videos were usually just a little bit longer. Call of Duty is trying to cater to that, but also cater to the more classic audience. And I think they're doing a somewhat decent job, but just know that zombies wasn't always like this. And if you're someone who is newer to this franchise and you want to get into zombies, but you're a little bit overwhelmed with all that has been added, or if you're someone who's trying to escape that insane dopamine rush that modern video games gives you, I implore you to go give Black Ops 1 a chance. Give World at War a chance. Download Plutonium on PC if you have one and do that. I'm telling you, zombies used to be goated. But here's the thing, right? Not all of the inclusions in new zombies are a bad thing. Let's take a second to appreciate something good that they did. The attention to detail on these new perk machines. Oh, this is where you want to put detail, not in the exposition. In this, these look so good. Like, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to go up to this machine and be like, oh shit, this is a good thing. Oh my gosh, the game doesn't tell you, go grab your perk, go grab your mule kick. It doesn't tell you that. You just look at it and know that it's fucking awesome. Now this actually gets me thinking, like, okay, Dr. Monty, you're stepping up your game. You're a successful perk business. Now you're updating your logos and stuff. That's got me thinking and all that. That's what it wants you to do. And literally nobody told me to think about that except for myself, because I want to theorize. That's what I love about zombies. And this is what I love about this. This is a good thing. Although we don't technically know if Dr. Monty exists in this universe, but just a little thought, But they had to ruin it with the Wonder Fizz. Oh my God, look, hot take or not, I'm not a huge fan of the Wonder Fizz, even in the old games. I thought it was okay when they put it in on Origins, but I was never a fan of it. I was more a fan of just looking for the perks. I just feel like I'm cheating. And now it really feels like I'm cheating when you can just buy whatever perk you want. How it used to be is it was a machine that would float around the map like the mystery box. When you hit the box enough times, the box moves. The same thing happened with the Wonder Fizz. You hit the Wonder Fizz, you get a random perk on the map for like, I think it was like 1,500 points. So when you hit it, you had a chance of getting a perk you wanted or not. It was just a random perk. You didn't get to pick it like you do in this game. But what makes this so bad in this game is why go to any other perk when it's just, you can go to the Wonder Fizz and it stays in one spot. It's just like, why? And don't get me started on double tap. All right, so if you guys don't know what double tap is, back in World at War, when the game launched with zombies, there were no perks. When the first DLC came out, Verrucht, they added in 4 perks. You know what perks are now, but there were only 4 of them in the map. Quick Revive, Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Double Tap Root Beer. Double tap increased the fire rate of your weapon. And in Black Ops 2, Double Tap was introduced again as another perk called Double Tap 2. They buffed the perk. Not only did it increase your fire rate, but it also increased your fire power. So basically, every time you shot 1 bullet, it would act as though 2 bullets were shot and do double damage. Hence the name Double Tap 2.0. The perk was in World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3. And since then, it's vanished. Like, it was one of the original perks and it's just gone. Like, we don't know what the fuck happened to it. We don't know why they're holding it ransom. But if you want my honest prediction, I honestly think they're gonna bring it back at the end of this DLC lifecycle for BO6. I just have a feeling that's gonna happen. They're gonna do the same thing they did with Juggernog in Cold War. Another theory that I have real quick while I'm on the topic of that is I think they're going to bring back Primus, or they're going to bring back the new versions of Primus, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio, but they're going to come back at the end of the DLC season. So you're going to be like, whoa, is that them? But then they're not going to call him Primus. They're going to call him like this new version, like, I don't know, like Butticus or something like that. Anyways, back to the video. Kill streaks and zombies are new and honestly a cool addition that I've thought of for a long time. And kind of just feels like, you know, a wonder weapon. So maybe they could theme it maybe like a wonder weapon. I don't know. It is cool though. I do like that. However, something that grinds my gears about this is that there is so much yapping in this game. Like, bro, shut up. And then I think this part is where we start getting into where it actually might be valid to put in more exposition into the map, because a lot of the newer players, they won't really know where to go. But I'll counter argue by saying neither did we at all. You know, we didn't need all that. So give yourselves again a little more credit in the fact that you guys play video games. You guys get that, oh, maybe I should look around somewhere. You're playing a video game. The essence of a video game is to go in and kind of explore, usually whatever game it is. Usually us older players kind of had to like earn our stripes in that regard, where it's like we just went in and had to figure everything out. And I'm not upset that they're changing it so that the new players have it easier. I'm not upset with it being that whole boomer mentality of like, oh, well, I had to, so you have to. I just mean it in the sense where it's like the newer players probably will enjoy it more if you don't tell them exactly where to go. Like, okay. Hear me out one second. I like Cold War, right? I think some of the stuff they have in the map is cool, but I definitely haven't played it all that much comparative to older zombies games. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. Here are my thoughts. In a regular game of D Machine, as a somewhat casual player of the map. This is round 1. So I see on my screen, I see my round counter, I see my compass for some reason, I see my ammo, I see my ability, I see my health, and I see whatever this is. It's probably like a revive, it looks like. I see my points, but I also see a mini map that has just like a sweeping radar for some reason. I got what's the name talking to me, the one guy, and then I got Weaver talking to me here too.
We need to find the facility entrance and figure out just what happened here.
So he says, find the facility entrance, figure out what happened. Okay, I have you telling me that. I have this telling me that. and I have this telling me that too. I have 3 things telling me I gotta find the facility entrance. Why is he telling me to find it when it's right here? Let's keep going. All right, we made it past another round. We got more XP, I guess. And then, okay. Why is this showing up? Open door to living room. Yeah? What is this, like a kill streak? This shows up when you get like a kill streak in multiplayer. Why do we need to know this? Why does my whole team need to know this? You told me I can just buy my ammo? Okay, so I'm like down in the bunker now, and I'm like, okay, this kind of looks a little scary. Or at least it would be a little scarier if this, and all this info is not there. So I go activate this terminal, right, for the cyclotron, and then all this shit starts happening, and it's just like, okay, what the hell's going on here? So I'm looking at it, this glowing purple energy, so obvious, and I just have this guy chiming in on it, and I have this thing saying to investigate anomaly, and I have this thing that says anomaly. You're telling me that you don't think the average player, let me go back to it, will see this and not want to go to it? You're telling me you guys don't think the average player is like, oh my god, let me go towards this thing? That's just like video game design at its peak, you know? Like in the simplest terms. Why does he have to tell me to go towards this thing? I was gonna go towards it anyways. Now all this like dark ether, aura, and energy is honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I think that's really cool. Here's something that happens right here, which is also really cool. You see one of these crystals that comes up, and I go ahead and I'm like, oh, okay, what if I just hit it? What the hell? I get something from that. I get some ammo. That's cool. I didn't have to like they didn't tell me, go ahead and hit one of those crystals and you'll get ammo. Like they didn't have to tell me that. I just figured it out. Now I just know. Cool. I figured something out. All right, so I start coming back from the dark ether, and it's like, oh, okay, now I guess my time's up. I can't just stay there, unfortunately. But I go back here, and first off, what the fuck's going on? So here he is, right? Here's the Megaton. I think the Megaton's cool. Honestly, I think this is like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is a new boss. It's not just a bunch of manglers they're throwing in here. It's a new boss. It seems like he does a bunch of ranged attacks. So I clearly need to hightail it out of there, get some distance. I start throwing a grenade at him. But here's the thing, right? He's got a health bar. I don't like health bars on these guys. Here's a good example. Monster Hunter, right? I don't know if you guys played Monster Hunter before. In Monster Hunter, you fight monsters, clearly. But the monsters that you fight, they don't have a health bar. They probably take about, on average, maybe 15 minutes to kill a monster because it's like a whole thing. But the way they have it set up is they have visual cues telling you, like when the monster's weak. He'll start limping, or his fur will be like rattled. He'll start getting like, you know, his scales will start falling off. Clear visual indications that he's weak. And that's what I really like about Monster Hunter. And here in Zombies, the Panzer does the same thing. He loses like his mask when he's getting weak. So that's how you know he's getting close to dying. There's none of that anymore, you know? There's none of that tension of, oh, is he close to dying? I don't know. I'm getting low on ammo, so let me try to see if I can kill him. I do like the Megaton. I think he's a pretty cool addition to the game, because when you kill him, he splits into other people, into other zombies, which is honestly pretty sick. So I'm fighting a Megaton. I'm using my stoner, which is Unpack-a-Punch, just a green rarity. So I'm like, you know what? Let me bust out my AK-74U. Pack-a-Punched. I don't have any ammo. You see that right there? I have no ammo in this gun. So I'm hoping for a max ammo, but then I run into this. I was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I can just buy ammo. That makes it so easy. And that's, you know, that's accessible, right? But it's like, where's the tension of, you know, hoping that you get that random max ammo from this enemy? And here's the thing, right? Here's the icing on the cake to this. After I buy this, not like 2 seconds later, a max ammo shows up. Now I'm looking at the max ammo like, oh, okay, great. There it is now. Wonderful. But if I didn't have this ammo box right here, I would have been like, shoo, man. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that just happened. That makes those like epic moments in this game happen. But if you're just gonna put an ammo box, what's the point of the max ammo? So I wind up killing the Megaton, I wind up killing the bombers, and that was kind of mainly my big deal impressions with this game. I'm gonna show you guys what my World at War impression was when I played Nocturne Toten for the first time. Oh man. What's going on, man? Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I died on round 1. Classic Zombies didn't give you this like exposition dump. Your character was a part of the story. Your character wasn't just a vessel for you to play in the game. I've never liked that sort of trope in video games. The silent protagonist. Like, look, I get it. It's supposed to be you, right? But I can't respond to what you're saying. So why bother even talking to me? It's like if you watch anime, right? It's like an isekai. Like, and then this isekai would be like, I died in the ether. Now Samantha's going to control me. My life as a zombie? That's like the whole title of it too. They're that fucking long. Anyways, in Classic Zombies, you had quotes from the characters that made you fucking laugh your ass off amongst all the chaos and horror, which really made for a nice break in all the seriousness. You walked toward things and the characters spoke about them unprompted. You just like found out about stuff, and sometimes you had a hard time replicating it because it only happened every once in a while. Little things like that in the map really make it so you have to look for it. Perfect example.
Looks like part of the meteor.
But if I'm playing like D Machine, or if I'm playing like the new Zombies map, and they're just like telling me how to get to these places and do things like get Pack-a-Punch, I may not be inclined to look for anything else because I just expect they're going to tell me how to do it. And if I don't hear anything from them, I may think, oh, that's all the Easter eggs that there are. But I also may be like, yeah, I might look for some stuff, but I'd say you're less likely to look for that stuff. It's like classical conditioning and like positive reinforcement stuff. I hope that made sense. Another great example of a thing that used to be in Zombies that isn't anymore is the concept of perma perks. Nobody in the game told you about them. Nobody told you about that shit. You just found out. Basically how that works is you do specific things in the game to unlock kind of extra abilities for your perks, or just kind of sometimes get that perk in some cases without like just outright buying it with your points. I believe if you take fall damage enough, you have to like dolphin dive a bunch, but if you take fall damage enough from it, you're just gonna get PhD Flopper, like a lesser version of PhD, but you get PhD nonetheless without having to buy the perk. Another one is like, I can't remember how you get it, but you get a version of Jug, which kind of increases your damage reduction. And then if you pair that with actual Jug, I think it even helps even more. I can't remember if that's fully true or not, but it's things like that that you just found out about. That term, permaperk, was invented by the community because there wasn't a set name for it because they didn't want you to know about it so easily. So they just didn't bother naming this feature. Perk augments seem to be something similar to this in BO6, but they have fully acknowledged it, and now that's something that we already know is going to be in the game. Another huge one is Leroy. That ain't that motherfucker's name. It's Arthur. And we only found out about that because a few years after BO2, they wrapped up his story arc by putting in a non-telegraphed side quest to learn that Arthur was sent back in time to Buried. It's so interesting because we figured that shit out. I believe it actually might have been told to us after the fact that when we figured out the Easter egg, but we worked hard to try to figure that out. That is like such a reward to these players who paid attention in class and finally got closure for this huge mystery of how did this guy get here? An NPC that helps you instead of wanting to kill you. Things like this are just fuel for the community. I just imagine back in the day, oh, hey, did you know you can do this in BO2 Zombies? It gets people to watch the video and it gets them to go do it themselves. And then it gets them to comment saying, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's how a community is born. Or maybe you're struggling with an Easter egg step and can't figure it out because the game doesn't tell you how to do it. So you search up a no-nonsense guide from fucking Mr. Raffle Waffles, and all of a sudden, he's now your go-to YouTuber to get that information on. That is how important to me this whole sentiment of showing, not telling in Zombies is. It gets you curious, it gets you talking, and you find people who are in the same boat as you looking for this goddamn rock on Revelations, and you bond over it. I think the Zombies community needs that now more than ever. Another change there is in the new Zombies games is the mystery box and the weapon system. In World at War through BO4, you had one rarity of weapon, and that's it. It was just the gun. You just got the gun. Over time, people just kind of gave the weapons tiers because you had to learn what weapons were good and what weapons were bad. The game didn't tell you with these special colors. In Cold War, you can spin the box for an AK-74U and have the chance to get multiple different rarities of the AK-74U. Green being the weakest and gold being the strongest. I'm not sure if regular guns can be gold tier. I think that might be just for wonder weapons, but you kind of get the idea. The thing is though, I kind of don't really mind that system all that much. Like, it's okay. And you know, pairing that with the 3-tier pack-a-punch is okay. You know, I play Destiny a bunch, so I'm kind of into that looter shooter sort of deal. But why the hell are you able to just buy the upgrade from the bench with your salvage? Why? Like what's the point of the mystery box if you can just buy any gun from the wall and upgrade it based on the rarity? I think they just need to keep the mystery box with the rarities, and that's it. Honestly, I think they could probably get rid of the rarities, but if they're gonna keep it in there, get rid of the salvage upgrade. Otherwise, it cheapens the joy in the randomness you get from the mystery box. It's called risk. Like, if everything in the mystery box has the potential to be this god weapon, then it ain't no mystery. It's just a box. Not everything in the old games had potential to be good, even after Pack-a-Punch. Some of them just sucked. But that was part of the risk. And it's like, oh, now Activision's afraid of gambling? Y'all weren't afraid of gambling in BO3 selling us them loot boxes. Now you have a decent way to do it and you're not gonna do it the right way? Come on, man. Like, do we have to be the ones to teach Activision that it's okay to gamble a little bit in a video game when you're not using real money? Do we have to tell them that? The point is, it's addictive, but it's healthy. It's not wasting your money. It's wasting your in-game points that you earn. If everything in the mystery box is good, then you might as well just have a weapon chooser. Oh wait, you can literally spawn in with any fucking gun, except for wonder weapons, of course. Like this doesn't take a game designer to realize that this doesn't make any sense. In World at War through BO3, you spawned in with just a pistol, and you had to figure out a way to go from 0 to hero. In Cold War, you can just kind of spawn in with the weapon that you want and just keep it for the rest of the game. Like, where's the progression? Where's the fun? I like to think of zombies as like kind of like a roguelike or like a roguelite. And to be honest, BO6 is adding a few things new and returning some things that help that roguelite/roguelike gameplay shine. Like with perk augments, like I mentioned before. I think that's fucking awesome. Giving your perk slightly different abilities to fit your playstyle is awesome. And they're returning gobblegums, which is also freaking awesome to see. So it seems like they have some stuff that makes old zombies good in the newer games. Hell, another good thing is they have it so that you can both pick up the Mangler gun and become the Mangler. Bro, that's fucking awesome. The closest thing we've had to that is the spider bite Easter egg on Zetsubo. Like, bro, they're cooking a little bit. It's like they're making a video game here. See, guys, I don't just hate on the newer games. I can see where they went right. Hell, even the old maps ain't perfect. If you're newer to the community, go watch my video on Transit and Die Rise, and you'll get an idea of what those maps had in store for the zombies community at the time. I do defend them a little bit, but just go watch it. After this video, of course. A small chunk of the classic maps kind of suck a little bit, to be honest, but one thing that they always have had is the intrigue. And when you loaded up zombies back in the day, you paid attention. You were forced to in order to find these Easter eggs. Like, bro, you were locked in to the immersion. You had to pay attention to where you were and learn the map, learn the training spots, learn the perk locations instead of them being on a mini map for you to just stare at. Wall buys are a little more impactful. You bought grenades off the wall. The Pack-a-Punch had a little animation with it where you stuck your gun in and you cracked your knuckles and it took a second for the gun to fucking cook and then you had to get it out. It literally like beeps at you or like dings at you like a damn microwave or an oven. That little moment of when you put in the gun and you waited for it to come out taught you about preparation and commitment, because if you throw that thing in there was a chance you might not get it back or you ain't making it back. And you seen zombies running towards you. What you need to do now is pick a god and pray, because if you're enrolled at war, 2 hits and you're done, buddy. You're done. In Cold War, when you go to Pack-a-Punch, you go to this like sub menu which lists everything that Pack-a-Punch does, and there's 3 tiers now and you have to click it once to go and do it and click it again to actually Pack-a-Punch it. It's like, man, I'm so unimmersed now. I think in BO6 they changed it to the MWZ one where you kind of just stuck it in and then you just have it Pack-a-Punched immediately. That's a little better, but I miss the like you have to commit, you know? I think you finally get my point. Zombies has changed a lot since World at War. And if you're someone who's curious about the old Zombies games and whether or not they're worth it, the answer is yes. I promise you. Give it a chance. Get BO3 or BO1 and just give it a try. The older games tend to be a little bit on the tougher side compared to the newer ones, but I believe that you can do it. And if you actually wind up giving it a try after this video, please let me know by commenting saying you tried it. Let me know how it was, and then maybe I could, you know, go through a little breakdown of a few things in the map. That's if you guys want to, but I implore you to give it a shot. However, just know that this is also a place for you to stay, knowing that I don't like to shit on people for liking something that I may not like, i.e. the new zombie systems. I like zombies, man, and I ain't gonna stop playing it. Unless they make a Vanguard 2. There are good things that come out of new zombies, and I'm excited for BO6 to innovate some stuff just like classic zombies did. Every zombies fan is welcome here. I would like to, again, encourage discussion in the comments civilly and maturely. What are some of your guys' favorite or least favorite things that were changed in Cold War or BO6? I'll make the follow-up. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give me a sub, give it a like, let your friends know about it, and your boy Clambo is out of here. We got some more stuff on the way. See ya.